keep staring at each other, or are you going to invite me in?
It's just that I wasn't expecting anybody. If you don't mind my asking, what can I do for you?
You need money. I need your investigative skills.
I mean, I no longer do detective work. But do come in if you want to.
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Blake. Sophia Blake. Mr. McPherson, I need you to investigate a case that is dear to my heart. Just name your price.
I haven't investigated in a long time, miss.
I really need your investigative skills. I will pay all your expenses.
You mentioned an interesting offer. What exactly was it?
Mr. McPherson, you've been in Paris for some time and I need your help. Only you can investigate this case. I'm ready to pay anything.
I don't want to seem overly interested, but why don't we settle my fees before we go any further?
This case may take you several days. I'll give you 500 straight away and 500 per day of successful investigation.
Could you give me any more details about the case? At the moment, it all seems rather nebulous.
You probably haven't heard about the Orphée case, Mr. McPherson. The newspapers have kept it quiet. A couple of American tourists were brutally murdered. They were my sister and her husband. I want to know the circumstances surrounding their death.
Your sister and her husband, they were both American. What exactly were they doing in Paris?
I was supposed to meet them in Paris. You know, Mr. McPherson, visiting Europe was my sister Ruby's childhood dream. With Mr. White, her wish came true. They were so very much in love.
These murders were committed in Paris. Do you know whereabouts in Paris?
A hotel in a chic part of Paris in the 8th district. The Hôtel Orphée. They arrived there about a week ago. They were found dead in their hotel bedroom.
How did they die? Are you sure they were murdered? It may just have been a terrible accident.
The Whites were found decapitated in their hotel room, Mr. McPherson.
I don't get it. I've never worked for you before, not here nor in New York. Yet you come to me and ask me to find your sister's murderer. Why me, Miss Blake?
Your reputation, Mr. McPherson. I find your nickname spooky to be charming. I have friends who know people at the Pinkerton Agency in New York. The suspicion surrounding you is totally unfounded, naturally. You are the man I need for this investigation. Discreet, capable of seeing beyond appearances.
Are the police handling the case? If they are, it may well complicate things. Do you know the name of the inspector in charge of the investigation?
The detective in charge of the investigation is named Lebrun. You know, the police are the same in every country, Mr. McPherson. Whether you're in New York or in Paris, you mustn't be in a hurry. Lebrun is no exception.
To be honest, I'm not sure I should take the case. Firstly, because where there's a murder, there's a murderer. Inspector Lebrun is in a better position to arrest murderers than I am.
Mr. McPherson, I have no faith in the police. The 8th District Police Station, Lebrun especially, is trying to hush up the affair. All they care about is keeping their reputation as a chic area.
Your offer is very reasonable. I accept.
I owe you a lot, Mr. McPherson. Much more than the money I'm paying you.
You'd like me to begin right away. I think I have all the information I need to begin. You're sure you haven't forgotten anything?
The police didn't find any items of value in the room. Yet my sister and her husband traveled very comfortably, in luxury and with old family heirlooms. It was a passion they both shared.
It is risky traveling with large sums of money. It would be a shame if they'd been killed for that reason. How valuable were these family heirlooms?
An old relic of no value. My sister was very fond of it. Of no value whatsoever.
I hope to have results quickly. I'll be in touch with you when I've made some progress in my investigation. Goodbye, Miss Blake.
I ask only one thing of you. Be discreet. The police must not suspect you're involved. If you'd like to meet me...
Are you quite sure, Mr. Beauvais, that you have not seen him?
Yes, I'm sure. Go on, Mrs. Elway, go home. We will take care of this, I promise.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Beauvais. You're so kind. The next time I'm at Cézanne, I'll bring you back a nice bottle of red wine. That's a promise. Goodbye, then.
Goodbye. Ah, a little bottle of red. Come on, next. Can I help you?
My name is Gus McPherson. I'm a private eye, private detective. I wanted to ask you if you'd be willing to answer a few questions and help me in my investigation on the Orphée murders.
A private dick. I see. Well, you'd better show me your license.
A license? I didn't know detectives needed a license. Where can I get one of those?
I will let it pass. This time. Private detective. You must be working for someone. Who hired you?
For the moment, I can only tell you two things. She's the sister of one of the victims from the Orphée, and she trusts my services more than she does yours.
The sister? Strange. We did not know the victims had family. I cannot tell you anything about the Orphée case.
Just a helping hand so I can launch my investigation in the right direction. That way we will not get our lines crossed. I don't want to impede your work in any way.
Forget it. It is baking in here, isn't it? You would not happen to have anything to drink, would you? Just one for the road. And my little gift? You do not have it? Fine then. Get lost.
Gee, these suitcases are heavy.
And do not forget, young man, the elevator is still out of order.
Oh, brother.
What can I get you, sir?
Give me a bottle of red.
Full of promises and empty-handed, huh?
I do happen to have a little something for you. An amazing bottle of red wine. You cannot say no to that, officer. Don't you feel a little thirsty?
Sir?
My name is McPherson. I'm a private detective.
You really are a private eye, just like in the movies? You've even got the hat, and you're American too. Huh. Private Dick.
Yeah, a real detective. Investigating a real murder. The one at the Orphée.
Golly, I wish I was a detective. So you're investigating the Hotel Orphée murder?
If you agree to help me, you kind of become my assistant.
Really? Of course I agree. An adventure. Finally.
Tell me about the evening. What was the atmosphere like?
Yes, it really was a most unusual evening.
What do you mean?
A series of strange coincidences. The telephone was no longer working. The lift breaking down at the Orphée. That still has not been repaired, incidentally. And to top it all, a violent storm breaking out just as the door closed behind the last customer. First thing the next day, I found out a double murder took place, right here, almost right above my head.
Does the elevator often break down at the Orphée?
You'll have to check with reception at the Orphée. I have no idea.
The police have a suspect. I saw the inspector's report. What do you know about the man who spent the entire evening by the window?
That is certainly true. He was here on the night of the murder.
And he stayed there alone for the whole evening.
Now let me think. I saw him chatting for a while with Mallet.
Who is this Mallet?
Théo Mallet. Works at the Orphée. He's a lout.
Why is he a lowlife?
He likes to bet. And when you do, you have to pay your gambling debts. It's a vicious circle. Mallet is a bona fide con man.
Did you notice whether Mallet gave any money to this man?
No. It's the man who gave the money to Mallet. I remember, it was cash.
And do you know where I might find this Mallet?
Mallet hangs out at the Alambic, a bistro in the 14th district. That is where he gambles away his wages.
Until what time did the man stay?
Now let's see if I can remember. He arrived at around 8 p.m., took a seat by the window, and dashed off just before the storm broke, at around 11 p.m.
Did you see what direction he went when he left?
I don't know. You cannot see outside from in here. You'd better check at the Orphée. Petit, the receptionist, will probably know. He was on duty that night.
Did you see this man with the whites?
I have never seen the whites, under any circumstances. There's no way I would have noticed them with that man.
The whites never came to the cafe.
I would know for sure. A pair of Americans outside the tourist season are pretty conspicuous. But if you want to be sure, check at the Orphée's reception desk. Maybe they would know.
So these two men may have no connection to the whites' murder.
Sorry, but this is your investigation, not mine. I can only tell you the facts, nothing more.
Could you give me a description of this mysterious character?
You could draw him? That's really neat. I'll give you a description right now. He was tall, very tall, heavy, black mustache, square-faced, and dreadful eyes. Threatening even. A tough guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir, aren't you on a case?
I'm sure the front desk clerk will not like to see me going upstairs alone. Must find a ruse or persuade him to come up with me.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. My name is Isidore Petit. What can I do for you?
Gus McPherson. I'm a detective, a private investigator. I'm working on an investigation, a private investigation. The death of the whites.
Sorry, sir. I'm afraid I cannot help you.
I thought you were the manager of this establishment. I'm sorry if I made a mistake.
You are speaking to him. I am the manager. But I have no wish to answer your questions, sir.
So you will not discuss it. Do you have any reason to feel guilty?
Sir, we have nothing to be ashamed of. What happened in that room last night is not about to happen again.
Do you often get murder and robberies in your hotel?
Never before have we been victims of such an occurrence, sir. Never. From now on, we shall be much more careful about which guests are admitted to the Hotel Orphée.
But the whites did not have any problems. You think it was just a gratuitous crime? Or maybe they were associating with the wrong people?
You see, the whites did not have what you might call proper manners. They were rude and frankly quite unseemly on occasions. More than once they made quite a spectacle of themselves, showing off their stormy temperament to anyone and everyone.
Fights. What kind of fights? Were they breaking the furniture and hurling insults at one another? Well, so what? It happens in the best relationships.
Sometimes, sir, I hear without listening, particularly where people's private lives are concerned.
I'll come clean with you. My employer is a rich American lady with no ties to the whites. She wants to take a room with you, but Recent events have made her sick with worry. I have to check that she will be in no danger here. I have to give my report tomorrow, so you see, I do not have much time.
Oh, that changes everything. What happened in room 507 was totally unique.
My client insists that everything is checked before she confirms her arrival. A stay of several months, maybe even a year, must be carefully prepared. So I have to visit the room. What number did you say it was? 507?
The thing is, the police have not yet finished their investigations. Room 507 would be impossible. But the room next door, room 505, is identical. It even has a nicer view. A long-term stay calls for maximum comfort, does it not? Follow me, sir. I will lead the way. This is it. Unfortunately, room 507 is not accessible. The police has not yet solved this sordid affair. But rest assured, it is an isolated incident. The hotel does not have a reputation as... What the... What is going on now? Would you excuse me for a minute?
Don't mention it. In any case, I've always preferred to visit at my own pace. Of course the door is locked. And the front desk clerk is hardly likely to open it for me. I must find a way to get in. Mrs. Loiseau?
Ah, it's the detective. Welcome to my home, Inquisitor.
Who told you I was a detective, madame?
I am a seer. I simply see things others do not.
A clairvoyant? Really? What luck. So am I.
I can feel the suffering radiating from you.
I suppose that on the night of the murder, you also felt vibrations.
Evil young man. It was here, close to me. Very close.
Do you believe that evil was in the Whites' room, just like you and I are in here?
The Whites brought evil with them. Evil lurked inside them and devoured them from the inside out, until they were one with it.
Have you been the victim of visions, madam? Rather like me? Visions of murder? The Whites' murder.
Young man, your instinct spoke to you. You are an artist, are you not?
I'm also an artist. Perhaps you'd like to buy one of my paintings.
Take this. They say Napoleon brought it back from his Egyptian campaign. It represents thought, the Egyptian god of arcane knowledge, the ibis of the Nile. It will help you on your quest. I shall be there to help you find the right path.
This evil, madam, did it know the Whites? No doubt your visions can guide us.
Evil wormed its way into the Whites. slowly, relentlessly destroying their being.
Please, be more specific in your ramblings. Describe this evil to me. Tell me what it is like.
Be on your guard. Evil is temptation. It is man's primal sin.
I will remember what you said. Who knows? One day I may even need your clairvoyance.
Should you have need of guidance, do not hesitate. Come back and see me. You are the detective, are you not?
Did you come into contact with the Whites? While they were alive, of course. If you saw them after that, it's your business.
I was only their next-door neighbor.
Despite the fact you have a reputation of being rather eccentric, did you still get on well with the Whites?
I have never had any ties whatsoever with the Whites, young man. They were appalling people. And what is more, they were cursed by evil.
This evil, could you describe it, or is it too abstract to be nailed down?
Ancient, dark, hypnotic eyes, authoritarian. I can see a color, like a ruby, like blood.
And this force of evil is what caused their death?
Your eyes have met his. He knows you exist. His anger has not been lessened by the White's death.
Mrs. Loiseau, I cannot arrest a culprit based on your ravings about evil. Please be more specific.
My words cannot be understood, Mr. McPherson. They can only be felt. Come back later. I need to rest.
This door leads to the White's room, but I can't wiggle underneath. I'll have to find a way to open it. There, a scandal rag beneath the door. There we go. It's an engagement ring. How romantic. The engraving inside says, "To Faye with love." Who's Faye? Whew. Smells like ether, only stronger. And my head is spinning. Looks like black hair dye.
Hey, cutie. We've not seen you in ages.
Berenice, what a surprise. Look, I'm in a bit of a hurry. Do you know a certain Théo Mallet?
No. But surely the owner does. You're lucky he's in right now. Your gnome knows everyone you know.
You're as charming as ever. Thank you, Berenice.
Call me baby like everybody else. Right, I've got to run too, cutie. You know, work. See you soon, okay?
Yes, anyway, you know my address. Come up and see me sometime. Ciao.
Ciao!
Come on, let's see that hot hand of yours.
Queen and her 3 sisters.
Oh no, are you doing it on purpose or what? 3 of a kind. You beat my 3 aces. Right, I've had it. I'm off.
Hulot, you're not going now, are you? Not when I was about to relieve you of your car.
Don't start, Mallet. Do not think that you can get away with things just because you have settled your bar tab. Why, it is Macpherson. Hey, Macpherson, come over here.
Macpherson? Who is that?
Another American in Paris who is broke. Let me introduce you. Macpherson, let me introduce Théo Mallet.
Hi.
Right, I will leave you two. I have work to do.
Hi.
I get the feeling I've seen you before somewhere. Have you ever been to New York? Oh, no, Mac. I'm so absent-minded sometimes. The jacket. The Orphée. You're a doorman at the Orphée.
If you are interested in the suit, I will give you a good deal. As far as I'm concerned, it is ancient history.
You didn't like your job anymore. Yet the Orphée is a prestigious hotel.
You are very nosy. Do you want my old job or something?
Maybe the hotel did not pay you enough. Or maybe you found other sources of income.
I'm the sole heir of some old fart or other. I'm taking the first train back to Brittany.
Oh, I see. You've earned enough to be able to afford a nice retirement. Pay off all your debts to the waiter at the Nantes and make yourself scarce.
Now wait, who are you? Do you work for the cops or what? I have done nothing wrong.
I may be a friend of Hulot, but I'm also a private detective, in my spare time.
Oh goody, a private eye all to myself. And who might you be working for?
I will ask the questions, Mallet. You just nod or shake your head if you must.
And I will answer if I feel like it. It is not like we have a contract or that you are my boss or something. Sorry, I am done yapping with you. Here, the Yank is back.
It's better that the identity of my client remains a secret. My client does not want a word of this to get out.
Don't make me laugh. A clown like you working as a private eye? Probably just another dirty cop. It will cost you more for your trouble.
I had had never heard of this job, paid informer. Anyway, you're no longer working at the Orphée. We all have to make a living.
Keep your money. I am leaving Paris anyway. I have come into an inheritance.
You must admit, it's most uncommon to come into an inheritance right in the middle of the Nantes Café on the night of a murder.
I don't see what I could tell you.
You deny having met any man with a mustache at the Nantes Café on the night of the murder. Yet you were seen there.
Did I hear right? You are calling me a liar? Well, the liar bids you farewell. Good day to you, sir. You again. I get the feeling you have got the hots for me.
Well, Mallet, remember anything yet?
What a leech. I've got nothing more to say to you, Mr. Macpherson.
Gus Macpherson? Long time no see, old boy.
Hi, Hulot. I've been too busy to come to the Alembic these last few months. I'll tell you the truth, I'm not exactly rich.
I don't like seeing friends in need. I'm sure I can help you out.
Hey, I'm not trying to stir up any trouble, but do you know this Mallet guy very well?
He turns up occasionally here and there. I cannot tell you more than that, professional secrets and all.
Spare us your convictions for once, Hulot. I need to know if this Mallet is really the guy I'm looking for. He's a doorman in a chic hotel in the 8th district, the Orphée, right?
Look, you have no problem communicating with people, Mac, right? Why don't you ask Mallet what his job is? I don't want to get involved in all this.
If you did know him well, you would have noticed something different. He's mixed up in something, some sort of shady money.
You are a pain, Macpherson. If I tell you to leave me alone, leave me alone. He claims to have inherited a pile of money. The rest does not interest me.
Well, Hulot, I see you're working as much as ever. Long days spent twiddling your thumbs. Running a bistro is the life of Riley, right?
I'd like to see you running a bistro, Macpherson. Customers to satisfy, friends, budding talents, art critics, nosy cops, soirees to organize, exhibits to prepare. I don't even have time to work on my fresco anymore. And then there are all the other little things, a favor here and there. And fall is always like that, a little slow.
You mean you have other incomes aside from the Alembic? Aren't these other sources of revenue a little risky?
You know, Paris is the center of the art world. Someone's got to organize all that.
You're not much help, Hulot, but I understand. You don't want to reveal any secrets that may be too compromising.
I know. What a surprise! Back already.
Hulot, I have a small problem. There's this lock I've mislaid the key to. Would you know of a way I could open it without damaging anything?
That and a few sticks of dynamite should set you up for that bank job, right? Seriously, Mac, why would I be carrying all that stuff? Do I look like a hardware store?
Oh, you know, there's no mischief involved. It's just for a friend who needs a helping hand.
Illegal or not, I am not the one doing it, so... Okay, Mac, I will help you. But in exchange, I want you to do me a small favor. A little job. Do not worry, it is nothing risky. I know you are good at this kind of thing. This painting is a reproduction, and here is the real thing. Do you notice any differences?
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, Macpherson. Be careful. What a surprise! Back already.
So there's the job done, quick as you like. Take your paintings back, Udo. I've finished. Better check in case I've missed out any details. I won't bother you any longer, Ulo. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, Macpherson. Be careful.
Sir?
Can you identify this man?
Yes, maybe. Yes, that's him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ah, it is you again.
How is Mrs. Loiseau involved in this case? I really don't understand. Is she a witness? Is she a suspect? Can she be trusted?
Madame Loiseau may be a little eccentric, but she is our best client. She has been living in the Hotel Orphée for many years now.
Mrs. Loiseau would not be a bit, how shall I put it, nutty? Not many people would dare claim that they can sense evil. In any case, I certainly would not.
Nonsense and superstition. Any evil presence here is definitely human. People can be gruesome.
Thanks to you, I've been able to draw up a portrait of a potential suspect. It's not perfect, but I think that with this, we are onto something. Now all we have to do is show it to the police.
That crafty devil with the mustache. Then he is the culprit.
Just 1 minute, Mr. Petit. I never said this man was guilty. I don't even know his name.
With those killer's eyes, there can be no mistake. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir.
You are the detective, are you not?
Do you recognize this man? Don't be afraid, it's just a portrait. It can't do you any harm.
There is a resemblance. but I do not feel evil in him.
You cannot identify my suspect.
It is all so confusing. I saw the man so quickly, and he was so terrifying.
You really think criminals have a certain type of face?
All I do is share my visions. I am afraid that if you're looking for anything more practical, it is the police you want to see, not me.
Here, the Yank is back.
Well, Mallet, remember anything yet?
What a leech. I've got nothing more to say to you, Mr. McPherson. Here, the Yank is back.
I have something to show you. Do you recognize this man? That's all very well, but how am I going to find that man now? He'll never come back to the Alembic.
I knew the Yanks were strange, but to talk to yourself out loud, and in French to boot?
Some are stranger than others.
See you soon.
McPherson, here again? You've got back your tit for life.
Hulot, you remember the guy who ran off the other night when I wanted to talk to him? Had you ever seen him in the Alembic before? That man is dangerous, Hulot. He's the prime suspect in this nasty murder business.
Should I know him? No, I do not know who it is. But he did not seem too keen on meeting you.
Unless I'm very much mistaken, Hulot, you were the last person to see Mallet before he disappeared the other night. You don't just run off like that for no reason. Believe me, Mallet has got something serious on his conscience. Maybe he's mixed up in this murder.
I will not say another word about Mallet, but I am sure of one thing. He is not a killer.
I don't mean to go on, but it was very strange of Mallet to run off like that. It really sets you thinking. In fact, I'm thinking about talking to the police about him. Him and his circle of friends.
The guy who ran off seemed much more guilty. Maybe it has something to do with politics. He had a foreign look about him, this chap with his mustache. Try finding him.
But that doesn't explain why Mallet ran off. There must be some reason. It can't be me, or he'd have run away as soon as I arrived.
McPherson, leave Mallet alone. I saw his face when he ran out the back door. It was not guilt that made him run away. It was fear.
This time, Hulot, I think Mallet really has done something shady. Has he been back since that night?
Macpherson, you are wasting your time with Mallet. He has not been in the Alembic since... Anyway, I already told you he's a stand-up kind of guy. He paid me what he owed, and that is all I care about.
What do you know about my investigation, Albert?
Strangely, no one has said a word. Nobody cares, except your client, I imagine. The press has hardly mentioned it. Even the police have not really investigated with much conviction.
This murder has not hit the headlines. But you must know a bit more about it than you're letting on, Hulot. American tourists killed in their hotel room without so much as a clue? No papers, nothing? Have you got any leads?
All that I know comes from the papers, and that's all I want to know. As far as I am concerned, the matter is closed. Basta così.
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, Macpherson. Be careful.
Great! The private eye returns.
Am I right in thinking Inspector Lebrun is in charge of the investigation on the White case? Would it be possible to meet with him? That way we can compare our information.
He is not seeing anybody. Just make a statement.
I've got some information on the Orphée murders. Exceptional information.
Fresh info? You are better informed than us, are you?
When I read the file, I noticed the name of a certain doctor, Frank Kaufner. What can you tell me about him?
Dr. Kaufner is our expert. Forensic scientist and, above all, psychiatrist. The sort of guy who prefers the company of madmen and corpses to the likes of you and me.
You don't seem to be overly fond of Dr. Kaufner. Is there any particular reason for that?
The chief of police himself imposed Dr. Kaufner on us. It's not going to help matters any.
I've read the police report, but I'm sure you can tell me a little more. What are your impressions on the White case?
This case is pretty messy. A foul murder, unclear motive. If Inspector Lebrun needs a hand, he will ask me. For the time being, he is managing on his own like a big boy. That is all I know.
Of course, if Inspector Lebrun is surrounded by guardian angels like you, he can't be making much headway with his investigations.
If he's not making headway in his investigation, it's his own fault. Lebrun is bending over backwards trying to find the mysterious visitor the Whites had that evening, just before the murder. He's not even cross-checking the statements.
I think I have the number one suspect. Théo Mallet. I believe he did it.
Mallet? You're mistaken, Macpherson. Mallet is not a murderer. He had no reason to kill the two Americans for their money. An old aunt just left him a fortune.
All right, okay. Maybe I don't have anything solid on Mallet, but I still have to speak to Inspector Lebrun.
You are the stubborn type? Inspector Lebrun does not see anyone for any reason.
I have some fabulous new information on the Orphée case. A portrait of the killer. Here, look.
My God, I do not believe it. Let me warn Inspector Lebrun immediately.
Do you recognize him? Wait, do you know who he is? You.
Éloin? Jacques Éloin? It's impossible.
Eloin. The name rings a bell. If only I could see that vision again. Control that vision. If only...
The inspector would like to see you immediately.
Come in, dear sir, come in. Mr. McPherson, I presume, would be private detective? I have no time to waste with snoops. What do you know about the White case?
I don't have time to waste either, Inspector. I've got some news on the White case.
I'm listening, McPherson. Go on, fire away.
I have a portrait of a suspect. A suspect who may very well be the guilty party.
Where is this portrait from, McPherson?
In fact, it is your mysterious visitor. He was seen by witnesses. I drew this portrait from their descriptions.
And where did you find the witnesses, McPherson?
Taking statements is part of my work as a detective. Loosening tongues, looking in the right places, talking to the right people.
Interesting. Our work is very similar. There is just one problem, huh? You are interfering with our investigation, McPherson.
I am trying to help you, Inspector.
Okay, let's say I agree to work with you. What do you want to know?
The portrait. You say you know who it looks like. That means he's a known criminal. He has a record. Who is it?
Jacques Eloin. He's a private eye, an ex-cop. He lives in the 11th district, and he is in big trouble.
The White case. Why don't you give me more information? The public could help you, and you could use this portrait to officially issue a description of a wanted person.
You are very naive, Mr. McPherson. This man is incredibly dangerous. Our specialist, Dr. Kaufner, has informed us that the ritualistic nature of this murder could provoke severe psychosis in the mind of the public. Like in London at the turn of the century.
He's killed again? Who's dead?
Theo Mallet, the former doorman at the Orphée. Do you know him, Mr. McPherson?
I talked to him last night. It was he, Mallet. Mallet fled as I was showing him the portrait of the suspect.
What you are telling me only serves to prove his guilt. Now you have what you want. Make yourself scarce. I need to think. Goodbye, McPherson.
Dr. Kaufner's office, please.
It's over there, right at the end of the hall. Make sure you don't get lost.
Come in.
Dr. Frank Kaufner?
What can I do for you, sir?
I'm Gustave McPherson. I've come here to ask you a few questions about the White case.
Tell me what you want to hear. So, you are investigating the incident at the Hotel Orphée?
What do you do for the police?
I am an associate of the Paris Police Department when needed. As a psychoanalyst and pathologist, I observe, analyze, and advise.
So you are a psychiatrist?
Psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, doctor of the mind, philosopher to some, and of course quack to others. These are the various names accorded to my profession, Mr. Macpherson.
You're a forensic surgeon, too. Much sought after by the police, I see.
I was a doctor during the Great War. I witnessed terrible suffering. How can I help you, Mr. Macpherson?
What can you tell me about the scene of the crime? The police have released very few details.
The man who committed this murder, and I stress the fact that he is a man, is probably quite overwhelmed at the present time. This crime was committed under the influence of a sudden impulse, without premeditation. His act is now haunting him. He is not himself.
Is this the evidence found at the scene of the murder that will enable you to draw your conclusions?
Sequential repetition of habits. The cure for hysterical behavior is by elimination of the source of anguish. I am just a psychoanalyst, Mr. Macpherson. It is the job of the police to draw conclusions, not mine.
What do you make of the traces of purple powder found on the bedroom floor?
Very little. Probably a drug used by the murderer to ease the pain of his act. All that is symbolic, Mr. Macpherson. The murderer himself probably doesn't even know. Like all symbols, it is up to us to interpret them.
You are implying that the murderer is a victim too, Dr. Kaufner.
We are all victims of the secrets of our soul, Mr. Macpherson. This criminal is no exception. We are all victims of our past. And do you have a suspect, Mr. Macpherson?
Are these the first crimes of this nature committed in Paris?
No crime has ever been committed with such passion and hatred, Mr. Macpherson.
If I had a suspect, I would not be here, Dr. Kaufner.
It has been a most pleasant conversation, but unfortunately, I cannot afford you more time, Mr. Macpherson. I hope I have satisfied your curiosity. I am very busy, sir. You should speak to Inspector Lebrun for more detailed information.
Letter of appointment. Signed Grégoire d'Alpin.
But who are you? What do you want?
Gus McPherson, private detective. And who are you, madame?
Hortense Elouin, Jacques' mother. And now, do you mind telling me what you're doing here?
I have an appointment with Elouin. The door was open, so I came in.
The door was not open. You broke in. Couldn't you have knocked at my door like a normal person? I would have told you he was not here.
Sorry about the door. Now that I think of it, it was kind of tough. If your son is not here, I'm sure you know where he can be found.
Hiding? I swear he's not here. Why would he hide? I have not seen him for several days. I have no idea where he is.
You're lying, Madame Elouin. Tell me where I can find your son. I mean him no harm. On the contrary, I need to talk to him.
You do not want to harm him. Can I trust you? Please understand, Elouin has not done anything. He's afraid, that's all. He's not hiding, but he needs help. My son is up there. Follow me. He's upstairs. Just go on up.
Right. Jacques Elouin, I'm arresting you for the murder of Regis and Ruby White.
I'm innocent. I may have led the murderer to the Eatons, but I did not kill them.
The Eatons? What are you talking about?
It's a long story, but this is what happened. It was after a rather tiresome case. A story of adultery that ended badly. The husband had hired me because his wife had supposedly run off with the money. She told quite another story, of course. I will spare you the details. I came home shattered. During my absence, a certain De Alpin had come by about some employees who had swindled him. I knew that De Alpin was a banker and that there would be plenty of money in it, but I was dead on my feet. So I told my mother to call him back and tell him to get lost. That's when she showed me the check. So, off I went again.
Those dirty kids, they roll around in the mud all day. And who scrubs? Old Muggins here. And where do you think you're going, eh? You gonna walk over me to get in here? Some people have work to do. Who are you? Can't you see I'm not here? If it's for the poor, I gave at the office.
Are you done, Cinderella? You're blocking my way.
What is it now? Some of us have work to do. And nobody goes up the stairs until I have finished. Who are you coming to see anyway?
I think there's a spot there. Careful. Otherwise, you might as well start all over again.
Now look here, you're not the one down here scrubbing the floor on all fours. What exactly do you want?
Lovely day, isn't it? Say, Can you give me the Eaton's room number?
The Eatons? What do you want from the Eatons? Are you a friend of theirs? You don't look the sort they would associate with.
You're the janitor? My name is Jacques Elouin. I'm a friend of the family. They're not often in Paris, so I thought I would pay them a visit.
It really is too much. They spend a month here and wham! Suddenly all the Parisian riffraff turns up. Your Eatons are not here.
What do you think I am? Some sort of idiot? Huh. You better tell me what you know about who the Eatons hung out with, or I'll just have to use more convincing means.
They had no morals, those two. That Eaton woman used to go it all dolled up, and she'd come back at all hours from God knows where. I even surprised her once, tarted up as a princess. She won't find herself a Prince Charming in Paris, I can tell you. And that Paul, always hanging around with that Montparnasse crowd.
This smacks of a scam. If Paul was hanging out with good-for-nothings, Gracie must have been planning some dirty trick. Do you know where she went?
Don't you think janitors have anything better to do than spy on their tenants? What do I know about their comings and goings? These bloody rascals really want to drive me up the wall. I have a floor to scrub, so you with the mustache, clear off or I'll chuck you out on your ear. Well, I'll be. Here you are again. Those grubby kids are already driving me crazy. I don't need a mug hanging around watching me work. Clear off. I'll make you eat my sponge as a snack, mark my words. Little rascals, wait till I catch you! Hey! Not my flowers, my beautiful flowers! Wait! They're going to see what I'm made of.
Strange. Yeah. Oh dear, what a mess. Mrs. Evelyn, you've got some cleaning to do.
Good evening, sir. Are you expected?
My name is Eloin. I've come to see the master of the house. Would you introduce me, please?
Sorry, sir. My master cannot see you.
But tell me, old chap, your name would not be Dumoulin, would it?
I do not believe I know you. You are?
Mr. Dumoulin, my name is Jacques Eloin, with an H. I'm Private Dick hired by one of your members, Mr. Grégoire de Alpin. Now that you know who I am, and whom I work for, I'm sure we'll get along much better.
Mr. de Alpin is absent. He's not here, I mean. Do you know him? I have never seen you at the Brotherhood's meeting.
Sorry, I should have shown you the letter signed by Mr. de Alpin authorizing me to investigate in his behalf.
But that is not Mr. de Alpin's handwriting. You're trying to fool me.
What is it gonna take for you to believe me? De Alpin gave the letter to my mother, who gave it to me. As for the handwriting, maybe it's his secretary's. Who knows?
The SBGDA has no servants, sir. Leave before I call the authorities. I thought I had already told you, sir, that your presence was not desirable. This is a private establishment, sir. Only members and their guests are admitted.
Well, if it's not my buddy Eloin, how is business going, Snoop?
So, Mimile, how's it going? Tell me, the police would not have anything on a certain Grégoire de Alpin, would they?
The Alpin is one of the biggest sharks around. A filthy rich banker, an old slightly eccentric Parisian. Have you gotten on his bad side?
Come on, Emile. I'm sure you know more about de Alpin that you're willing to tell me. You do not loaf around behind a counter for nothing.
De Alpin has plenty of connections, but no friends. That's what makes him so influential. He knows all the right people. He's basically untouchable.
It's almost a privilege to investigate for him. Strange that de Alpin did not make use of his contacts to sort out his little problems.
Eloin, I will keep in touch. We are pals after all. Give my regards to your mother.
Does the name Eatons mean anything to you? A woman and man. Brother and sister? Americans?
Eaton. Eaton. Let me think. No, I have nothing under that name. Are they dangerous?
You know the job, Emile. I'm paid to investigate, with the utmost discretion. A theft with no violence. Good thing, because I don't even have a gun. Nothing for you to be concerned about.
A client with plenty of dough. We're working for the rich now, are we? If I hear anything, I will not forget you. We will go 50-50 as usual.
Goodbye, Emile. See you later.
That's right. Let honest folk work. You were not announced, sir. I wasn't expecting you. How can I help you?
Hello, Doctor. Jacques Eloin, private detective. Sorry, I am out of business cards. You'll have to take my word for it. That way we'll both be in the same boat.
A private eye. I am sure you are well aware I am not at liberty to discuss one of my patients. Doctor-patient confidentiality.
Actually, I'm not interested in your patients, Doctor. On the other hand, you could be of great assistance.
Do you want a consultation, Mr. Elouin?
I found your business card at the home of someone who's not so innocent.
I have no control over who has one of my calling cards, Mr. Elouin. The proof? You yourself have one. And yet, I never gave it to you.
You do not happen to have a patient by the name of Gracie Eaton, Dr. Kaufner?
Gracie Eaton? Of course, Mr. Elouin. What do you want to know about Gracie Eaton?
Gracie Eaton is a little crazy, isn't she? You do treat the mentally ill, don't you?
Not all of my patients are ready for a straitjacket, Mr. Elouin. On the contrary, I care for all those with tormented souls. It's called therapy. One could classify Miss Eaton in this category.
Gracie Eaton has a brother, Paul Eaton, doesn't she? What do you know about him?
Paul Eaton. I suspect he engineered the whole thing. He's the one who brought Gracie to my office when she had her first attack. Thereafter, he remained in the background.
You know why I've been hired? And I won't hide the fact that I do not have any hard facts on the theft. Is there anything you can tell me?
You know enough to complete your investigation, Mr. Elouin. Listen, old chap. If you want to know where the Eatons are hiding, you have come to the wrong place. Yes, I introduced Gracie Eaton to the companions. Yes, she knew the Alpin. But as to how intimate they were, that is their business. All I can tell you is that if I knew where she and her brother were, you would not be here. So, do the job you are being paid to do, Mr. Elouin. Find the thieves, and let us get on with the rest. We each have our own role, do we not? You do not seem to understand, Mr. Elouin. Your presence here is not welcome. I demand you leave my office.
And the time he dressed up as an angel, and he did not have a string on his bow. Berenice.
Oh, sorry. Jacques Eloin. Perhaps you could help me.
Why not? Would you like a drink? Come on, don't be silly. I'm a modern girl. Come, have a seat. You've never been here. I would remember your face. I'm curious to know what brings you here.
Berenice. Pretty name. knight in shining armor left you alone in such a place? That's hardly wise.
I'm old enough to look after myself, but thanks for the thought.
Today must be my lucky day. In my job, I usually deal with punks, not cute dolls like you. I'm a detective. You happen to know a certain Paul Eaton?
The American? Paul Eaton? Yes, I know him. He's been filling our heads with his stories for the past month. He and the owner are mates.
The owner, Hulot, is also your friend. Would you be kind enough to introduce us?
The owner's not here. He's just driven off. Actually, I think he had a rendezvous with Eaton.
Damn it, this is too much. I'm always one step behind. This time, I'll catch them before they slip away again.
It is simple, Jacques. The owner went dashing off. He mentioned a restaurant, getting back late. How would I know?
Interesting story about Eaton. Is he on to something big? Did he give you any details? Mind you, with guys like him, you never know what to believe.
I'm fond of you, Snoop. You know how to go about things. I'm going to help you. Paul Eaton was in Paris for a contract. A scam that would make him rich. His wife was his accomplice. Then he got the jitters. He's hiding now. Hulot, the owner, definitely knows more. You'll have to see him about that. Only thing is, he's not too fond of private snoops.
Charming. Berenice, I can feel that, like me, you're dying to know where Paul Eaton and his wife are. What was Paul planning to do after his job? Any ideas?
The owner, Hulot, knows a thing or two. Paul only spoke English, and he never mentioned any names. He could not have known much. It's not because you drink like a fish that you know more. It was his other half who pulled the strings.
Berenice, do you believe this bank heist story? Eaton must surely have been planning something. He could not have just given up like a complete idiot. It must be a diversion. It smacks of a wild goose chase.
Charming and smart, that PI. Only he has it wrong. It was not the banker's money the Eatons were after. It was a treasure he had hidden in his place. The woman took care of seducing him. Paul was there to pick the fruit when it was ripe. He was completely manipulated, that poor Paul.
What about Paul? Is he coming here often? You know, if he starts bugging you, it would give me more reasons to nail him.
You know, Jacques, that Eaton smells like trouble. One day, he turns up from God knows where with his little British accent. After a few drink sessions with Hulot, the owner, he loses his accent. After that, he shows up here practically every day, more American than ever. Then wham! No more news.
Well, that's a shame. I was really hoping to find him there. To be honest, I went to his place before coming to the Alambic and, like magic, they disappeared. So, I thought you might be able to help me.
We do not really know what Eaton is doing in Paris. In the beginning, he said he was with his sister, a student. After a few binges, his sister had become his wife, and they were both onto the scam of the century.
A restaurant. How fitting. I was planning on inviting you. But a restaurant in Paris, it's like looking for a needle in the haystack. Any idea which one?
And why would I know? Eaton talked about going out to a chic restaurant with his wife, but he did not even know which one. It was Hulot who scribbled down the address before leaving.
That's all you know, is it? In any case, someone as charming as you is always beyond suspicion.
Ciao, Snoop. Good luck.
Look, a notepad. The first page seems to have been ripped out in a hurry.
Hulot is implicated in this affair? But how?
Who knows? He's a fence, is he not?
I brought you a little snack.
Thank you. I'll just put it there. We'll help ourselves. Okay, where was I? Oh, yes, the restaurant.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Chez Alexandre. Do you have a reservation?
Tell me, buddy. Does the name Grégoire de Alpin ring any bells?
Mr. de Alpin is one of our most respectable clients. Unfortunately, he has not honored us with a visit for almost a week now. And he left no recommendation with regard to yourself. I'm sorry, sir. I cannot help you.
Look, I do not care about your reservation problem. All I want is some information. Does the name Hulot mean anything to you?
If you are going to take that tone with me, let me tell you right now that I do not give a damn who it is. Our register clearly indicates he is not a guest here, never has been, and probably never will be.
Jacques Eloin, private detective. I'm looking for two crooks. Can you tell me if you have any clients by the name of Eaton? Be discreet. They're dangerous.
I do not see any reservation under that name. Maybe they have reserved a table in another establishment.
I'm sorry to insist, but I'm sure this couple knows your restaurant. A man and a woman, Americans. The woman has been here. Quite a looker. Goes by the name of Grace Eaton.
Now that you mention it, I think she came here. And she was with some guy or other. They even had a rather colorful exchange in English, and it was not all sweet nothings, I can tell you. But it's not the name you gave me. No, it was White, not Eaton.
I'm a private detective, hired by Grégoire de Alpin. I have to find them, and quickly. I'm fed up of chasing after them. Any idea what it could be? Got an address?
Sir, this is not my job to spy on people. It would seem to be yours, though. All that matters to me is that they enjoyed their meal and paid their bill. Actually, they put it on their account at the Hotel Orphée. A French gentleman joined them, and they chatted for a while before leaving together. I do not know what they went. I hope this is of some help to you, because you seem to be completely lost.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. How may I help you?
White. I've come to see the Whites. Which room might I find them in?
We do not give out such information, sir. Not without the prior agreement of our clients.
Come on, pal. Be a sport. I can pay.
Sir, you shall obtain nothing from me with money.
You don't know what you're missing. Crisp bills straight from the bank.
That will not work with me, sir. You are not in the slums here. Keep your money. Book yourself some lessons in proper manners, if it's not too late.
You're not the first guard dog I have encountered, but you're certainly the toughest. I'll let you think about it. Do not worry, though. I'll be back soon.
It is better that way, sir.
Okay, what do I do now? Now what?
If you want any leads about the Whites, wait for me at the Nazi. I will give you some.
This case is really beginning to get on my nerves.
You again! I was under the impression I had shown you the door.
What can I get you, son?
A bottle, please.
That will be 5 francs, sir.
All right. Thanks, and good day.
You're welcome, sir.
Sit down. What do you want with the Whites?
You look like someone who might be able to slip me some info about the Whites.
We will see. How much will you pay?
Do not worry, it's my client who pays.
Ah, someone who gets things quickly. We're going to get along just fine. Now what do you want to know?
How long have they been at the hotel?
They've only been in the hotel for 3 days. Since they never leave their room, it does not take much to figure out what they are up to in there. No, they have never set foot here before.
Have the Whites had any visitors since their arrival?
Solitary types. If you ask me, they are not tourists. They hardly ever came out of their hole. They put everything on the hotel bill. Meals, clothes, alcohol. The room has been booked for a good month. The man went out a couple of times at night.
Will you give me their room number? I'm gonna pay them a little visit.
Room 507, but you are out of luck. They are not there. Must have kissed and made up. The dame has dyed her hair red. Look, I've got other things to do, you know. It's not like your money is going to a life of leisure. You ought to hire a private eye.
Mr. de Alba, your birds have returned. Even so, I would like to take a quick look. Room 507. Just a quick look. That's when I saw the most amazing thing in my life. I do not know if it was the smoke that blurred my vision, but one thing is for sure. That creature was not trying to keep them warm. And the damn creature saw me. I have fought in the war, you know, but I've never seen the likes of that. When its eyes stared at me, I ran. Yes, I fled like a little kid. There must have been something in the air because I fainted right after that. I came around later, near the Alambic. That's where you saw me. Mom? Is that you?
Ah, no. Jacques Alouin. I'm arresting you for the double murder of the Whites.
Believe me, I'm not the culprit. Speak to my mother. She'll give you the proof.
Well, thank you for your help.
What?
Yes, I had you followed, and you led us straight to the culprit.
No. Something is off. I've been tricked like a sucker. But by who?
Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the Élysée, 1528? I want to speak to Sophia Blake.
Right away, sir. Sophia Blake, who's speaking?
Miss Blake? This is Gus McPherson. Can we meet? I'd like to clarify a few points with you.
Meet me in an hour at the restaurant Chez Alexandre. We can talk there.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Chez Alexandre. Can I do anything for you, sir?
Very chic restaurant, Chez Alexandre. But I'm just passing by.
Our establishment caters to the finest palates in Paris. If you happen to change your mind, we will be only too pleased to welcome you, sir. My name is Tonio. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Chez Alexandre. Can I do anything for you, sir?
Your establishment has been recommended to me for its outstanding menu. Can a table be reserved? Near to a fountain, if possible.
How unfortunate. We have no more tables available this evening. Perhaps you would like to come back tomorrow, although we don't open till 7 o'clock tomorrow, sir. Early next week would be the best. I'm so sorry, sir, but, you know, our medieval specialties are very much in demand at the moment. Today's recommended dish is white boar in barley beer, served in the Lutèce style. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Chez Alexandre. Can I do anything for you, sir?
A table has been booked under the name of Blake, Sophia Blake. I'm here to meet up with the lady. My name is Gus McPherson.
This way, please, sir. Miss Blake is waiting for you.
If you want to see me, Mr. McPherson, I imagine it's because you've made some headway.
There's one small detail in all this that you failed to mention. The head of Baphomet. Does that mean anything to you, Miss Blake?
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. McPherson. Should I?
What I have learned totally contradicts what you said about the Whites. Who are they really?
Ruby White was my younger sister, and Regis White was her husband. I already told you, Mr. McPherson.
Actually, several new occurrences have come to light. Occurrences that require an explanation from you, Miss Blake.
I don't understand, Mr. McPherson. What do you mean?
I do not like to be taken for a fool, Miss Blake.
All right. I admit that I wasn't totally honest with you. What do you want to know?
Ruby and Regis White never existed. Not as you described them, anyway. Who are they really?
I don't have a sister, Mr. McPherson. Ruby White's real name was Faye Johnson, and Jerome Johnson was her real husband. I hired them, a terrible mistake on my part, but I'm not responsible for their death.
What were they doing in Paris? I want the truth, Miss Blake.
They were supposed to retrieve the object that was stolen from me. Everything was planned in minute detail. They failed. Their death is a regrettable accident.
Why so many identities?
They were professional con artists, Mr. McPherson. As soon as they occupied their room at the Hotel Orphée, they became the Whites, a rich couple on vacation. It was also the signal that they had pulled it off. I was supposed to take delivery of the merchandise. Unfortunately, they were killed in the meantime.
Then you recognize the existence of this man, Grégoire d'Alpin. Who is he really?
A madman, blinded by an obsession to possess a supposedly valuable relic. The head of Baphomet. By stealing it, he destroyed my life. D'Alpin led my husband to his death, my family to ruin.
In the course of my investigations, I was told about a much coveted object, the head of Baphomet. Does that mean anything to you?
The object has been in my husband's family for generations, Mr. McPherson. I didn't lie to you. Grégoire d'Alpin stole it from us. My husband, already weak from his illness, died of sorrow. I now want to retrieve what is rightfully mine and avenge the memory of the man I loved.
What exactly is the importance of this object, this head of Baphomet? And why is d'Alpin so anxious to get hold of it?
I don't really know. My husband was very secretive about the value of the head of Baphomet. As for me, I simply want to retrieve what is rightfully mine. But d'Alpin and his lot venerate the relic, surrounded with many legends. Legends of immortality. As you grow old, these legends suddenly become a source of hope, a source of life and death.
Go and tell the police what you have told me. Inspector Lebrun will be glad to help you. He'll understand, I'm sure.
You still haven't understood. The police do not want a part of this. D'Alpin has the Paris police in his pocket, Mr. McPherson. Paris is just a puppet on his string.
Who, in your opinion, killed the Whites?
The Whites were criminals, Mr. McPherson. They made a foolish mistake. They're dead. Aside from their own carelessness, it can only be because of the man who is behind all of this, Grégoire d'Alpin.
Do you think the killer will strike again?
He would do anything to achieve his aim, Mr. McPherson. Everyone who has crossed his path is in danger. The man is insane. He'll kill again. You must understand that you are the only one who can stop him. We have to put an end to this madness. The object must be found before other heads roll.
That is a tragic story, Miss Blake. Why didn't you tell me the truth from the outset?
I was alone in Paris, confronted by a fearless enemy. I had to act quickly and discreetly. If you had refused to help me, Mr. McPherson, I would have had no one else. I didn't want to be dishonest with you.
Supposing I refuse to continue the investigation?
It's too late, Mr. McPherson. We can't back out now. The Whites are dead. This doorman is dead. Your patron is dead. Would you be able to live with new victims on your conscience? Innocent people you've met, questioned? Find me the head of Baphomet and the problem will be resolved.
Well, if you put it like that, I agree to carry on, Miss Blake.
You see, we can reach an agreement, Mr. McPherson. Shouldn't you be investigating the case, Mr. McPherson?
I must get past these alleys. If anyone lays their hands on me, I certainly don't want to find myself in a cell. patient with initials G.E. Gracie Eaton? If she was a patient here, that means Helouin is telling the truth. The egg, symbol of immortality, according to Mrs. Loiseau. Strange, I don't remember Helouin mentioning it. At the heart of the egg, the secret of the soul. A wax cylinder with the cycle of the phoenix by F. Kaufner written on it. All we need now is a phonograph.
You again? Wasn't getting my son arrested enough for you?
I believe your son is innocent, but I need evidence so I can prove it.
Do you think so? My son left me the key to his office safe. Here, take it. You'll find what you're looking for in there.
Double locked. With a safe like this, it's hopeless without a key. Helouin's notes. They contain all the information he found during his investigation.
Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the post office, please? I'd like to send a telegram.
Right away, sir. Poste telegraph, go ahead, please.
I want to get in touch with the Pinkerton Agency in New York as soon as possible. I will dictate the contents of the telegram. Seek information on American couple Faye and Jerome Johnson. Stop. Also need information on woman named Sophia Blake. Stop.
Pinkerton Agency, New York, in America. I've made a note of it. Your request will leave today. Goodbye.
strange front door. An improved version of all the other locks I've come across so far.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. My name is Isidore Petit. What can I do for you?
When the Whites returned on the night of their death, did you notice if a car dropped them off? A smart car. I don't remember the make.
Who knows? I was here at the desk. Mallet was taking care of the door. Actually, he saw to all the doors. He was a doorman. One good reason why all the locks throughout the establishment ought to be changed. Mallet is no longer with us, and nobody knows what he has done with the master key. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir. You again! Sir, I have nothing more to say to you.
Sir?
The man you identified is called Helouin. Jacques Helouin. Can you confirm your statement?
Helouin? That's a funny name. And a private eye to boot. Now, I'm surprised. Quite a turnaround, isn't it? That is definitely why he came in here, no mistake. As for what happened to him afterwards, I have no way of knowing.
Did Mallet join him, or was it the other way around?
Yes, I remember now. He and Mallet had a quick chat, and it was definitely Mallet who met up with him. The man arrived a few moments before Mallet did.
What do you remember of their conversation?
I didn't hear anything. They spoke in low voices as if they were planning something. As for anything changing hands, I maintain that your man, Helouin, didn't get a thing. He's the one who gave money to Mallet.
Mallet is dead.
Mallet is dead? That's awful. It's starting to be an epidemic. I can kiss the money the little scoundrel owed me goodbye. Never mind. May he rest in peace.
Did he owe you money?
Mallet has always been in debt. On the night of the murder, he slipped off without coming to see me. If he had any money on him, he hung on to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are the detective, are you not?
With the arrest of Helouin, this case has taken a different turn, and I'm the only one who can save him from the guillotine. I have to shed light on two investigations at the same time.
It is time to decide who you trust, Mr. McPherson. I'm as eager as you to see the end of this nightmare.
You probably know the Brotherhood of the Supreme Order of the Rosy Cross.
An occult brotherhood. Beware. Its members are highly influential in every sector of Parisian life. That is what makes them so dangerous. Contrary to what they'd have you believe, their occult knowledge is rather limited.
Mrs. Loiseau, your knowledge of the occult world must surely qualify you for a place amongst them.
They still live according to the social constraints of the Middle Ages. Women are not admitted. It is, as their name claims, a brotherhood, after all.
Sorry to disappoint you, but they have had a woman member, Gracie Eaton.
Do not confuse them, Mr. McPherson. Miss Eaton was introduced as a guest. It seems that she had a particular talent that charmed the Supreme Brother.
As a psychoanalyst, Frank Kaufner must have a fairly high rank in the Brotherhood's hierarchy. Is he an influential member?
Gay. Yes, he does hold a high-level position. In fact, he is the new Supreme Brother.
I really don't get it. Kaufner succeeded who?
Kay is succeeding GDA as Supreme Brother. You know him, Mr. McPherson, as Grégoire de Alpin.
What becomes of Grégoire d'Alpin? Did they give him a leaving bonus? Did he retire to Provence?
Grégoire de Alpin might have reached illumination and achieved a higher level of consciousness.
Would these men be capable of ordering the deaths of those who would stand in their way?
Weren't the whites known to both Kaufner and de Alpin, Mr. McPherson? Nothing is beyond the reach.
There are too many questions. We'll only get answers to our questions by shedding light on the White's death.
Even evil has a reason, Mr. McPherson. Even evil. Should you have need of guidance, do not hesitate. Come back and see me. Come back later. I need to rest.
Did I realize how great an impact dealing with this man would have on me, on my career, on my own destiny? His soul has passed from body to body down through the centuries. The cycle of the phoenix. He is the phoenix, risen from the ashes. He has confided in me the secret of his power, of his riches, the head of Baphomet. I am very familiar with the myth. The Companion's library featured more than one legend on the subject. Grégoire d'Alpin claims to have been in possession of the head since the Middle Ages. He acquired it on behalf of the Knights Templar and kept it after their dissolution. They dare to call my manifesto a scientific fairy tale. They think they're the leading experts in psychoanalysis. Vienna. I will prove my theory to them. I will prove that Grégoire d'Alpin is immortal. Slowly But surely, my role in the Alpin's existence has grown in importance. Using hypnosis, I have managed to impose my will upon him, all the while espousing his ambitions. I shall be his successor as the head of the companions. His power, his riches, the Baphomet, it will all be mine. I shall be his heir. The time has come. This evening, the Alpin wishes to see me at his manor. Gracie Eaton, his Adeline, will be there. Tonight, I shall become the greatest. Neither Vienna nor the Alpin can stop me now. The old fool is convinced that I'm ready to receive his soul. Ready to receive his riches, more like. And the influence that comes with them. Then Vienna shall pay for its insolence.
If I can be of any assistance, sir?
Yes,
Visitors are not admitted, sir. Would you kindly leave?
You are mistaken. I'm not just any old visitor. I've come to make inquiries. Inquiries about the occult.
Visitors are not admitted, sir. Would you kindly leave?
The knowledge stored here would be impossible to find anywhere else. Even the Sorbonne is but a pale shadow of your great learning.
Our library contains knowledge and secrets that cannot even be found at the Sorbonne. The Brotherhood of the Supreme Order of the Rosy Cross are the most erudite people in the Western world.
Does your sealed-off library include books on magic, Kabbalah, divination, tarot, lost civilizations, Mu, Hyperborea, Atlantis, the Holy Grail, and alchemy?
Sir, one must not joke with the occult arts. Alchemy, the great work.
How does one attain this great work? Must one first become a Supreme Brother before contemplating all of its power? Like your SBGDA? Your alchemist?
The great Ouroboros has spoken, sir. GDA is no more. The SBK is our supreme leader now.
Do you know who is hiding behind this K, Dumoulin? The same man who invited Gracie Eaton to join you, setting a fox to mind the geese.
Eaton, Gracie, Adeline. That woman will never lay her eyes on us again. Betrayer!
You suddenly seem to despise her. Is that the will of your new Supreme Brother? Is it the will of K?
His word is ultimate. His hand, vengeful. He is the SB.
You seem to know a little too much, Dumoulin. Be careful with your threats. I'm not here to bother you. I already have a suspect for these crimes. But from what you have told me, I could easily have you charged with being an accessory. At the very worst, you might be sent to the nut house.
What would the police do, eh? What would it gain? They will have to wait a long time for an order from the police chief. Leave before things get worse for you. As I have already told you several times, sir, you cannot obtain any information here. As the doorman, I'm responsible for the security of the premises.
Mac, you disappear for ages, then turn up without warning. You must be after something.
Berenice, you're my little green fairy. With everything we've been through together, I know you'll always be here for me. You're the only person in Paris I can trust. So...
Still the same sense of humor. I see the Parisian air inspires you.
No, seriously. You're really the only person I can trust. I have one or two questions that I need you to answer.
Mac, you know full well I would not refuse you anything. Ask, I'll find you the answer.
Bebe, those beautiful eyes of yours surely saw a beautiful stranger. Especially an American. Do you remember a guy at the Alembic going by the name of Paul Eaton?
It's funny you mention it. Another detective came and asked me the same thing a few days ago. Good-looking bloke, that P.I. Nice mustache. Yes, I remember Eaton. He was hanging out with the Alembic crowd last month.
Bernice, do you remember the other night, before you came round to my place? I had some complications. That guy who got away from me. Well, I caught up with him, but I need to know if you've seen him here before. Eloin. Jacques Eloin.
Yes, well, I think it was the same. He came asking questions a few days ago. I don't know.
Berenice, I think I'd better warn you. This Paul Eaton is mixed up in some dirty business. I just hope the boss, Albert, did not trust Eaton too much.
Paul and old man Hulot? Of course they know each other. They even got really chummy.
Berenice, it is vital you tell me everything you know about Paul Eaton. And I warn you, everything he has told you is probably lies. I think his name is also a fake.
He was not very chatty, Polly boy. I must say, he did not speak French very well. All I got was that he was in Paris with a sister who I never saw. He hinted once or twice that they were onto something big, loads of cash, easy work. You know, Mac, now that I think of it, Paul Eaton was definitely the dodgy type.
Hulot, the boss? Is he there? Maybe he noticed some things that you missed, Bebe. You know, you might have been too busy staring at that tall, dark American to notice anything peculiar about him.
Albert is not here. I was supposed to meet him here this morning, but he's not come by today. You know, Mac, Albert Hulot has not changed. He is as weird as ever. If I see him, I will tell him you're looking for him.
Have you seen anything of Paul Eaton since?
No point getting all jealous, Mac. You're the only American in my heart. I've not seen Eaton here again. And as for Albert, the owner, I have no idea. I suspect Paul pulled off the scam of the century and fled to Borneo.
Bebe, I need a small favor. I have to infiltrate the Brotherhood, and I need a fake letter of introduction. Can you write me one using these documents?
No problem. Come by later, your letter will be ready.
It would be better if you spoke to Inspector Lebrun directly. I will show you in immediately. I do not want to be mixed up in all this. No thanks, it's not for me. Way too complicated.
Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
You've got very little on Hellaway, Inspector. Unless you have further evidence, your culprit will soon be a free man, cleared of all suspicion.
I have some solid witnesses, and moreover, a very accurate witness sketch. Thank you.
You heard his story. Hellaway did not kill the whites. He didn't even know them.
Like you, Hellaway is a mercenary, Mr. McPherson. Ready to do anything for a little money.
I continue to doubt his guilt.
You're not a judge, Mr. McPherson. But if you think you can prove his innocence, go ahead.
I'm not giving up, Inspector. Quite the opposite. I will be back when I have some news.
Fine, McPherson. Come back whenever you want. You know where to find me. Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
I'm not giving up, Inspector. Quite the opposite. I will be back when I have some news.
Fine, McPherson. Come back whenever you want. You know where to find me.
Mac, I'm gonna start thinking you can't do without me. Did I forget something at your place?
Bebe, I need the letter of introduction. Is it finished?
Here it is.
I see. The orders rooms are at your disposal.
These books are in Greek, Latin, other languages people no longer speak, myself included. A real alchemy kit. All these flasks contain powders. What on earth does he do with them all?
But he couldn't stop me from joining the Templars. I have to try to cleanse myself of their sin of the flesh. Because of him and my mother, my soul may already be condemned to hell. Only the balm of the Templars' faith can rid it of the mortal sin engraved upon it. On October 9th, Saint Denis Day, I finally discovered the traces of the head. Blessed by Saint Denis, he who smiles down on me in all his beatitude to help me leave my soul. Yes, Saint Denis is smiling on me. The head purifies me. As God is my witness, I, Simon le Bel, in this year of our Lord, 1305, shall enter the body of Pierre le Bel de Clemency tomorrow, June 24th, and shall retrieve what is mine by divine right. In this new body, purified of my soul and of my parents' carnal sin, death will no longer hold any mystery for me. The head of Baphomet has finally revealed all of its secrets. Victory! I would shout this divine miracle from the rooftops if I did not fear the unbelievers and their stake. I am in a new, younger, stronger body, and it is God's will. How else can I explain Adeline's appearance at my bedside? Blessed and cursed. God gave me a new body, but Adeline, my angel, who took care of this new body, is forbidden to me. It would seem she is the daughter of that idiot, Pierre. That's to say, my own daughter at present. I am weary of this existence. What is the point of living for centuries if I can never again glimpse the smile of my beloved Adeline? Ah, Adeline, you who are forbidden to me, will I ever see your sweet face again? I would gladly exchange these solitary centuries to see your face, your eyes, once more. She has returned. She is once more of this world, and so close to me. She visited Kaufner today. It really was her. That excellent doctor of the mind confirmed it. It is her, and this time she will be mine for the rest of my life.
Well, Miss Blake, it would seem you did not tell me everything. Right, that's all I needed. Blake's been abducted and the kidnapper takes himself for a Dialpe. And naturally he wants the head in exchange. As if I knew where it was.
McPherson. Max, something awful's happened. Hulot is dead. He's been murdered.
Hulot dead, and the soul of the Alembic gone with him. We've all lost a great friend, Berenice. Keep your chin up, baby. Don't let them get you down. There's still the Alembic.
Hulot started from nothing. He worked as a construction worker on the metro before becoming a very important patron of the arts. You know, a big shot.
Hulot never did anything for nothing. If he did you a favor, you knew you would have to pay him back one way or another. He was a man of many resources. Money, tip-offs, favors. He always knew where to get them.
Mac, all that was Hulot. A real hub of the Parisian art scene. The paint never dried under his feet. There was something to suit everybody's taste.
But Berenice, doing those little favors could have sometimes made crooks out of us. Everyone knew Albert was a fence.
Hulot saw himself as the Robin Hood of the art world. He got money out of the rich for the art of the poor. He may have been a fence, but he had ideas.
Berenice, relationships like that only bring trouble, either with fences or with the police.
Of course, Mac. I worked for Hulot. We all have to live, you know. And sculpture doesn't exactly pay a girl's rent.
You say you've copied works of art for Hulot? Has he commissioned any work recently?
Strangely enough, yes. The day you came to the Alembic, the first time, I gave him a copy of a grotesque bust.
My God. Berenice, the bust. The bust you sculpted for Hulot. Did it look like what you see in the sketch?
It is exactly the same. Hulot asked me to make a copy. I gave it to him the night you came. Mac, I'm scared. What's going on?
It's awful. I have to find this head before there are any more deaths. Even your life is at risk, Berenice. The killer is after this head. Don't you see, baby? I have to find out how Hulot got his hands on this accursed object.
I have no idea who gave the head to Hulot. I made a copy, that's all.
I'm not sure I've grasped the magnitude of this business. But one thing's for sure. You are not safe, Berenice. Be careful. I'll do everything in my power to put a stop to these crimes. Everything.
Find the killer for me, Mac. I will manage on my own. Mac, I don't know what to think anymore, Mac.
My God, Berenice. Why him? Why Hulot? When did this happen? And you, baby, are you okay?
The cops discovered his body at sunrise, but he may have been dead for a couple of days. I have no idea. No idea.
It's awful. Hulot was not supposed to die. He could not die. He was the last person to see the whites alive. The police. Did the police tell you how it happened?
I don't know how to describe it. It is so sordid. His head, Mac, his head was cut off. His body was hanging on the front of the car. And his head was sitting on the hood like a figurehead. Worst of all, in his mouth. The police found a coin in his mouth.
Berenice, Hulot is dead. We have to be careful, too. Was it the police who told you? They have a suspect. They're already holding Helouin.
The pigs? They're all the same. The investigation is taking its course, miss. Like hell. Everything I know I got from my contacts.
Berenice, we have to get to the bottom of this before everyone else dies. Do you know who is heading the inquiry?
Inspector Lebrun, always spotless, the perfect bourgeois. They're putting on an act in an attempt to hoodwink us. In fact, Mac, they haven't got anything to go on. Hulot, you, me, Helouin, for them we're all nobodies. It's up to us to unravel this.
I feel as bad as you do, Berenice. Anyone who comes to the Alembic will be grieving. The place will be a shrine to him. Everyone who comes in will be reminded of Albert Hulot. So many stories.
You know how much Hulot loved his entourage. Everybody had a chance. The Alembic was his masterpiece. Take this fresco, for example. You know how many artists contributed? Hulot would ask them to paint a bit, sometimes just a brushstroke. Over the years, it became his treasure.
It's true. That fresco is rather special. Did he tell you what it is meant to represent?
He used to sit and stare at the fresco at night. Honestly, Mac, he kept the secrets of his soul.
I'm not sure I've grasped the magnitude of this business. But one thing's for sure. You are not safe, Berenice. Be careful. I'll do everything in my power to put a stop to these crimes. Everything.
Find the killer for me, Mac. I will manage on my own.
Strange. The candlelight highlights details I had never noticed before. Hulot. What was the secret you had hidden right under our noses all the time?
You are the detective, are you not?
Of all the strange things that my investigation has thrown up, Mrs. Loiseau, there's nothing more mysterious than this object that everyone calls the head of Baphomet. What do you know about it?
Throughout the ages, this relic has been the subject of so many rumors and aroused so much greed that many have doubted its existence.
Some seem to think that this object possesses magic powers, another illusion dreamed up by fans of esotericism.
The church also has its relics, Mr. Macpherson. Instead of magic, they talk of miracles. What is important is the faith that believers attach to the object of worship. Nothing else.
How can a psychoanalyst like Dr. Kaufner believe that the head of Baphomet holds some kind of power?
Dr. Kaufner has become the mirror of the Halopin's soul. They are so alike, we no longer know which one is pulling the strings. He has lost both his will and reason.
Do you believe that, Mrs. Loiseau? Do you share Grégoire d'Alpin's views?
De Halopin firmly believes that the Baphomet confers eternal life, Mr. Macpherson.
And d'Alpin managed to spread this myth by surrounding himself with loyal supporters who share his beliefs.
The head of Baphomet has belonged to Grégoire de Halopin for a long time. It is the symbol of his power over the Brotherhood. It is his only reason for living.
So in losing Baphomet, d'Alpin has lost his head, in a manner of speaking.
Yes, to believe so strongly in a power that it controls your life.
D'Alpin is dead. The myth of Baphomet is absurd. There is no such thing as immortality.
What is immortality? What is eternal life? Only Philistines talk about it. Those who do know, do not talk. You are the detective, are you not?
Could you, in your infinite wisdom, tell me what alchemy is?
Alchemy is magic through symbols. Nothing is lost, everything is created. The transmutation of matter by metals. The great work. Order in chaos.
You really think that metals like copper and lead can be turned into gold?
Ordinary mortals are unaware of the true nature of alchemy. Transforming metals into gold was a way of attracting favors from princes. In fact, alchemy is a far more ambitious quest.
After so many centuries, do they themselves remember what the purpose of their quest was?
Their quest is the most noble of all. They are seeking to purify their souls.
I do not understand. You, Grégoire d'Alpin, all the others, you claim to possess occult knowledge, to know magic, to practice alchemy. You're living in a fantasy world, don't you realize?
Beware, Mr. Macpherson. Grégoire de Halopin is an alchemist at the height of his powers. His quest goes beyond the purification of the soul. He lusts after immortality.
You honestly believe all that?
Only the wise man can tell what part of knowledge is truth and what part is lies. Others perish while trying to do so. You are the detective, are you not?
What is this business about Templars, Mrs. Loiseau?
A fascinating subject, is it not? It is so simple to link everything back to the Templars. Forget them. They disappeared 7 centuries ago.
There were such things, though. What do you know of their history?
The Templars, protectors of pilgrims to the Holy Land. Blessed by the Pope at the request of Saint Bernard on January 14, 1128. Accused of heresy by Philippe le Bel, King of France. They were arrested throughout the country on October 13, 1307. They met with a tragic and controversial end. They were sentenced to death by fire. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, perished on a bonfire in Paris on March 18th, 1314.
Doesn't the story of the Templars mention the particular part played by a woman called Adeline?
We do not know anything, only what was reported. There exists in the shadows an invisible history. Each thing will become clear when the time comes. Good luck, Mr. McPherson. Come back later. I need to rest.
Mac, I don't know what to think anymore, Mac.
Berenice, there it is. You recognize your own handiwork? The heads of Baphomet, exact copies. Not even my expert eye can distinguish between the original and the fake.
Mac, what you see here is my life's work. It is really perfect. It is good work.
Bebe, I need a small favor. I have to infiltrate the Brotherhood, and I need a fake letter of introduction. Can you write me one using this letter?
How can you ask me that under such circumstances? You only think of yourself, Gus McPherson.
Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
We've been barking up the wrong tree from the start, Inspector. The Whites never were the Whites.
The Whites were not the Whites? McPherson, what are you talking about?
The Whites do not exist. I have their passports here. They are American citizens. They did not arrive in Paris a few days ago. They got here over a month ago. You want to know what name they used? Johnson, Inspector.
All right. Let's suppose they were using pseudonyms. Could you tell me why?
Ruby and Regis are not the real names of the Orphée victims. I have in my possession a ring that clearly indicates the woman's name was Faye.
That does not prove anything, McPherson. What about all the sweet talk, huh? Faye and Ferry. Of course. Why complicate things to my Ferry with love?
A letter. A letter signed Sophia Blake confirms that they were hired to commit a robbery. The letter is addressed to Faye and Jerome Johnson, Inspector.
Thieves? What did they steal then, McPherson? We did not find anything in their room, and moreover, no one has brought up charges. Explain that.
They robbed Grégoire d'Alpin. The plan was orchestrated by the same woman who hired me, Sophia Blake. This is a major con trick, Inspector.
De Alpin? Grégoire de Alpin? The banker? McPherson, I assure you that a man as important as Grégoire de Alpin would have called on the police to solve this case. He has the means, believe me.
One gold, one brass. One at the Alpins, the other at Kaufner's. 2 ancient coins. These prove that both men were involved in the murders.
Everyone has the right to collect ancient coins. Anyway, what has Dr. Kaufner to do with all this?
That is too much. Will you never face up to the facts? You know as well as I do that coins like these were found on all the victims.
How do you know about the coins?
What can I say? I'm just a nice guy. Your officer couldn't resist my charm. He just gave me a couple of pieces of information.
Beauvais will get an earful about this. Leave the coins with me. They are evidence.
With this, you can start investigating the true motives behind the murders.
Thank you, McPherson.
Your charge of murder against Hellouin just doesn't hold water, Inspector Lebrun. Another man is dead, Hulot. Albert Hulot was killed in the same circumstances as the Whites and Mallet.
In other words, the accomplice is still out there.
It's strange, but it's true. Doubtless d'Alpin preferred to sort this business out in the greatest secrecy. Just ask Hellouin. He's the one who investigated it.
I would have to check with Monsieur d'Alpin. I can't tell you more, McPherson.
Inspector Lebrun, what I have shown you is irrefutable proof of Hellouin's innocence. I found the knife used to cut off the victims' heads.
The murder weapon must be a knife of extreme precision, medical precision, with an incredibly sharp blade. Show me what you have, McPherson.
This is the murder weapon, just as I found it at Grégoire d'Alpin's home.
Thank you, McPherson.
Unless this letter is a fake, it proves that Jacques Hellouin was really hired by Grégoire d'Alpin.
Even working for d'Alpin, Hellouin could have committed these crimes.
You must admit that this is all very strange. Have you considered questioning d'Alpin?
I would have to check with Monsieur d'Alpin. I can't tell you more, McPherson.
If you have any doubts about d'Alpin's involvement, I have something that will convince you, Inspector. A glass vial, taken from his home, identical to the one found broken in the White's room.
McPherson, Grégoire d'Alpin is surely not the only man in the world to own such a vial. It proves nothing.
Stop protecting d'Alpin. He's the only man in Paris who can obtain these vials. The only one capable of putting this gas inside them. The purple gas he uses to put his victims to sleep.
Leave the vial with me. I will have it examined.
Here you are.
Thank you, McPherson.
I hope these clues will enable us to prove that Hellouin is innocent.
I will speak with Hellouin, and we shall see. If I understand correctly, the Whites were not the Whites, but the Eatons, who are in fact the Johnsons. A couple of professional con artists hired to retrieve a relic at the Alpins by Sophia Blake. Also your employer, Mr. McPherson. Yet according to this note, Sophia Blake is currently being held hostage by Mr. d'Alpin. Would it be the same d'Alpin we see dead in these photos? Do you understand anything?
It's just that...
That is to say that you and me are going to have a little chat to set this story straight from the beginning.
Lebrun, aren't you tired of making people believe this story? The evidence is there, on the table.
Sir, I advise you to go back to your paintbrushes and leave the authorities to do their job. Now, if you will excuse us,
May I retrieve my documents?
Consider these documents as facts, Mr. McPherson. And without facts, there is no proof.
Yes, and there's the proof of my innocence, Lebrun.
We shall see about that, Elway. We shall see. Mr. McPherson, goodbye.
Poor Elway. I did what I could for him. The only thing I've got left now is my conscience. Me, Blake, and my conscience.
Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
D'Alpin. D'Alpin is dead. He's been dead for over a week.
What are you talking about? If anything happens to Mr. D'Alpin, I assure you heads will roll.
D'Alpin looks to have died peacefully of old age. Nothing like the other murders. I have a photo here. See for yourself.
Even if Mr. D'Alpin had died of natural causes, it would not prove Eloin's innocence, McPherson. Quite the contrary.
If D'Alpin has been dead for over a week, he couldn't have hired Eloin to investigate. Do you not see, Inspector? Somebody else hired Eloin.
And I suppose you're going to tell me who this mysterious person is, Mr. McPherson.
But, Inspector, Eloin and Hulot never met. He had no motive for killing him.
Eloin had never met the Whites, but he killed them nonetheless. Albert Hulot was probably another embarrassing witness.
I'm not giving up, Inspector. Quite the opposite. I will be back when I have some news.
Fine, McPherson. Come back whenever you want. You know where to find me.
Mr. McPherson, did you know that in Tarot, the hanged man is not put to death, but confronted by his destiny instead? Arriving at his journey's end, he is able to see his life again from a new angle. Sometimes, a man thinks of certain events again and discovers that he was tricked, betrayed.
McPherson! Help me, Gustave! Don't let him! He's insane!
This painful blow, this moment when our convictions, our beliefs, our passions are shattered. When you discover your life has been nothing but lies, trickery.
McPherson! Help me down! He'll kill me! He'll kill you! Like he killed all the others! He killed them all! That Kaufner, he killed them!
Judged! All guilty of having tricked me, betrayed me, stolen from me. Just as you did Blake. And just as she tricked and betrayed you too, Mr. McPherson. The Baphomet is mine. It has been mine for centuries. It is my immortality. Give me back the head, McPherson, or she will be sentenced before the tribunal of God.
You've lost your mind, Kaufner. You've been exposed. You are the killer. You're a monster.
I am the sole judge of my actions.
But this object has no power, Kaufner. Not this object, not any object. There's never been any such magic. Trying to prove the contrary has made you lose your mind.
Ah! Become my successor, McPherson. I will initiate you into the power of Baphomet.
The Baphomet has wrecked your life, just as I will in turn wreck the Baphomet. No. You'll get my bill within the next few days. And the police should be turning up any moment.
Kovner.
What do you think? The cops carted him off, and he's rotting in jail now.
What some people will do for power.
Yes, some people would do anything for power and money, but not us. The Alpin. You turned to crime, whereas you had the opportunity to live in peace forever.
Their death is fair payment for their treachery.
Haven't you understood that nothing in all this can wipe out your suffering, your grief, your Adeline?
The memory of Adeline lives on stronger than ever.
How can you believe in the purity of a love, whilst revering an idol such as the Baphomet? You disgust me, D'Alpin. You are unworthy of your Adeline. You are unworthy of any woman. Take back your precious treasure. Cherish it.
Did you really think I would let you leave with my secret? Did you really think he would save you? You were wrong. Mrs. Eloin?
Oh, Gendarme Beauvais. I did not expect to see you here.
I do not know how to tell you this, but I have news about your son.
What's wrong? I can tell that you have news for me, and that it's not good.
Indeed. I would rather tell you in person before the newspapers get hold of it. The execution will take place the day after tomorrow.
The Alpin. You turned to crime, whereas you had the opportunity to live in peace forever.
Their death is fair payment for their treachery.
Who, D'Alpin, will judge you for these crimes you have committed? God or the devil?
I am the sole judge of my actions.
This story shall end at the very moment you lay your hands on your treasure. I have never represented justice. I have merely tried to do my job, both for her and for you, albeit against my will. Take back the head of Baphomet, since you are the one who wants it. Justice will be done. One day, you will pay for it. Right. You have the head now. Let her go.
Blundering idiot! Did you really think I would let you leave with my secret?
That was close.
Yes. I owe you one.
Never mind that. If it was not for you, I would still be rotting away in jail.
Come on. I'll buy you a drink at the Alembic.
It's not like me to turn down such an offer. And there's that cute girl that works there.
Be careful. People are not always what they seem.
Hey! Don't forget me!
No. You'll get my bill within the next few days. And the police should be turning up any moment.
Is Kovner right? Was he really de Alpin?
What difference would it make? He's dead now. He might have been immortal. He's not any longer.
What some people will do for power.
Yes. There are people who would do anything for power and money. But not us.